Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a senior engineer, someone truly at the top of their game, who uh, barely types code anymore.
Right.
We're talking like 80% of their coding work may be being handled by an AI agent.
Yeah.
How is this even possible? And maybe more importantly, what does this new reality, mean for how we build things?
It's a radical shift, isn't it? A really big one.
Yeah.
And this deep dive is all about, well, getting into the reality of that scenario. We're diving into insights from Steve Sewell's firsthand account, How I Use Cursor, plus my best tips,
Ah, okay.
to see exactly how he's leveraging AI in software development. And it's not just for speed, it's for, entirely new workflows.
Right. So our mission here is to uncover the specific techniques, maybe the surprising productivity hacks, and the unexpected benefits of integrating AI tools like Cursor into your daily development cycle.
Exactly.
The goal is to help you become not just faster, but genuinely more, well, efficient and effective,
Yeah.
freeing up your mental energy for those really tough, high-level problems.
And the source itself is invaluable, really. It's a blog post packed with practical, proven tips, workflows directly from someone actively in the trenches.
Using it day to day.
Yeah, using these tools every single day. It's a real look at application, not just theory.
All right, let's start with a feature that honestly sounds a bit like a dare. Cursor's YOLO mode.
Ah, yeah.
When I first heard you only live once mode for coding, my eyebrows definitely went up.
Understandable.
It sounds like giving the AI complete control, right? How do you balance that sort of initial apprehension with its promised power?
That's a great question to start with because the name is provocative.
It really is.
But the true power of YOLO mode, well, it comes with critical guardrails. It lets the AI agent go beyond just writing code. It
Yeah.
empowers it to verify correctness far beyond just basic linting.
Okay, so linting being the sort of automated style and error checks?
Exactly. The key thing is that you define its boundaries. You use allow lists and deny lists, so it's not a free-for-all.
Ah,
It can run tests, find errors, and even automatically make fixes within those pre-approved parameters you set, until the code meets your specified criteria. It's, let's say, a controlled leap of faith.
so it's not just writing, it's self-correcting, but inside the sandbox you define. What makes this so practical in a real development flow?
Well, when you enable YOLO mode, you unlock a ton of options for those prompts and control lists. Steve Sewell shares a brilliant example prompt.
Okay.
He says something like, any kind of tests are always allowed, like Vitest, NPM tests, NR tests, etc. Also, basic build commands like build, TSC, etc. Creating files and making directories, like touch, mkdir, etc. is always okay.
Right.
This means Cursor can independently run commands like mkdir to make a directory, or TSC, that's the TypeScript compiler for those less familiar.
Checking those types, yeah.
Exactly, ensuring your code adheres to strict type rules, or even lint checks directly without waiting for your input every single time.
And the aha moment Steve describes. It sounds pretty remarkable, having Cursor automatically fix all build errors found by TSC.
Yeah.
It literally iterates until the build passes, maybe across multiple files, all without you lifting a finger.
That's the idea. It
Yeah.
truly is transformative once you kind of get past the initial, maybe slightly scary name.
Definitely.
Yeah, a key takeaway here is how much it cuts down on that tedious, repetitive debugging cycle. It frees you up to focus on the bigger picture, architectural decisions instead of chasing compiler errors.
Okay, so once you've seen AI streamline those individual fixes, the next logical step is, well, how does it handle really intricate multi-step challenges?
Okay.
And this brings us to AI-driven test-driven development, or TDD. Traditionally, when you're doing something like converting Markdown to HTML, you're constantly iterating, testing manually, reprompting the AI.
Oh, yeah.
It can feel a bit like you've just become a QA tester in that loop, which, let's be honest, isn't always the most fun part of coding.
Yeah. That's precisely the pain point, that manual back and forth. Steve Sewell's game-changing tip here, to make that process far less painful, is to explicitly prompt Cursor. Write tests first, then the code, then run the tests and update the code until tests pass.
Ah, so you're telling it the process to follow.
Exactly. It basically transforms that manual loop into an automated, iterative process.
What's truly impressive, according to Steve, is Cursor's intelligence here. He didn't have to tell it where to put the tests or how to set up the test environment.
No, and that's pretty cool. It intelligently finds the necessary context, like the package.json file, without you needing to spell out, create this test directory here, add this example context there.
That level of contextual awareness is, well, a significant leap, isn't it?
It really is. You literally get to observe the AI at work It creates the test file, writes the implementation code, runs the tests, which, yeah, might even fail initially.
Sure, happens all the time.
Right. And then it automatically iterates, fixing those failures until all tests pass.
Right.
You're sort of observing, almost like a senior engineer guiding a junior, but, faster.
But as Steve points out, there's a catch. You still need to babysit the AI.
Yeah, that's important.
Are there specific scenarios where it just goes off track and you need to jump in, hit stop, and maybe nudge it? It sounds like human oversight is still absolutely crucial.
Absolutely. The babysitting analogy is pretty apt. There are times when the AI might go down a less optimal path or maybe get stuck in a loop trying the same wrong thing.
Okay.
Your role then is to monitor, try to understand why it might be stuck, and gently steer it back. Maybe refine the prompt. That human judgment, especially in debugging the AI's own process sometimes, that remains paramount.
And this approach, this AI-driven TDD, it isn't just for brand new features, is it? Can you apply this to existing projects, ones that already have test suites maybe?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is where it gets highly practical for ongoing work. You can extend this approach to existing code bases. Steve details a workflow where he takes code that failed, maybe something that failed to convert from server logs, feeds it to Cursor, and asks it to identify the issues.
Right, so like a real-world failure case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then, crucially, he prompts it to write a specific test case just for that problem, and then update the code until all tests pass, including the new one.
What's particularly valuable there, it sounds like the continuous improvement aspect. Steve describes doing this every few days, pulling in new failing cases from logs. This iterative process systematically addresses new edge cases, maybe small unexpected data formats or something, and significantly improves the robustness of the whole code base over time.
Precisely. It's constantly shoring up the weak points, almost automatically finding and fixing them based on real failures.
It's like a proactive way to harden your system against those weird inputs you didn't anticipate.
Exactly. It's incredibly useful for that.
So, okay, we've established how AI can handle the logic, the testing, the robustness. But what happens when the code is technically correct, passes all the tests, yet visually it just feels wrong? Well, the front-end struggle.
Spacing issues, misaligned elements, and then you're back to that tedious cycle of trying to describe visual changes in text prompts, right? Make the padding slightly bigger.
Move that button 2 pixels left. Yeah, that's a huge pain point. And this is where Fusion, which is a cursor extension, comes in. Fusion tries to bridge that gap. It allows visual, almost Figma-like editing of AI-generated components directly within your actual code base.
Wait, really? So you see the component rendered?
Yeah, you see it rendered, and you can manipulate it with familiar design tools, like dragging.
So instead of describing, make the spacing bigger between these two cards, you just drag it. Can you give us that real-world example Steve mentioned?
Precisely. He gives the example of prompting Cursor to build a dashboard component. It generates the code, it passes the tests, great. But if the spacing between cards feels too tight, you don't go back to the text prompt. You literally just click and drag the spacing in the visual preview to where you want it. And the underlying code, it updates automatically. That sounds genuinely transformative for front-end development. Truly game-changing.
It has the potential, yeah.
And it's not just generating random CSS values, is it? Does it know about your design system?
Yeah, it's a really crucial detail, yes. Fusion aims for smart integration with design system.
Good.
So when you make those visual tweaks, like adjusting spacing, it prioritizes using existing spacing tokens or variables or patterns from your design system rather than just spitting out arbitrary pixel values or something.
Okay, that's smart. So it keeps your code clean, consistent, and sticking to your established design language.
That's the goal, yeah. Very important.
Now, let's talk about efficiency in the, the daily grind. Steve talks about vibe coding, which I kind of like the sound of.
Yeah.
Just writing code, getting in the flow, not worrying too much about lint errors or maybe TypeScript issues right then and there. Then at the end of a session, he simply tells Cursor to fix everything. That sounds like a dream.
It really does, doesn't it? And the genius here lies in the specific commands he uses. He'll use a prompt like, I've got some build errors, run your build to see the errors, then fix them, and then run build until build passes.
Wow.
He literally lets Cursor handle all the cleanup, from linting rules to type errors identified by the build.
This technique seems perfect for those pre-PR checks, right? Catching the easy stuff before a full continuous integration build kicks off.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
He explicitly mentions using it for those pre-PR commands, things like TSC, prettier for code formatting, ESLint for
The
linting.
quick ones, yeah.
The fast, localized checks that prevent common failures and save valuable time before potentially slower CI build runs. Your continuous integration system that tests everything more thoroughly.
Right.
It's about catching simple issues quickly and automatically, letting you iterate faster without waiting for the CI pipeline just to tell you about a formatting error.
Makes total sense. But what about those really tricky bugs? The ones that aren't obvious from static analysis or, simple tests. Debugging with logs is often the kind of last resort. And AI help there too? How do you
Yeah.
get it involved in that deeper debugging?
Yeah, for those really stubborn issues, you need a different approach. It's more iterative. First, Steve suggests telling Cursor something like, please add logs to the code to get better visibility into what is going on so we can find the fix. I'll run the code and feed you the logs results.
Okay, so you're asking the AI to instrument the code for you.
Exactly. Cursor adds the logging statements. Then you run the code in the scenario where the bug occurs, and you collect the raw logs.
Right, get that output. Then what?
Then you go back to Cursor, you paste that raw log output directly into the chat, and you ask something like, here's the log output. What do you now think is causing the issue, and how do we fix it?
Ah, so you're giving it the runtime context.
Yes. This gives Cursor concrete runtime information to analyze. It acts like a brilliant second pair of eyes scanning through the logs, looking for patterns or anomalies.
That's kind of like having a highly effective junior developer, maybe. Someone who can quickly add logging where you ask, run it, and then help you interpret the results, giving you that concrete information for more targeted fixes.
That's a great analogy. Yeah.
Though it might still take a few tries, right? It's not always magic first time.
Oh, for sure. It's still an iterative process, especially for complex bugs. But it's incredibly powerful for those hard-to-crack problems where the issue isn't immediately obvious just from staring at the code. It helps you zero in much faster.
All right, let's talk about some essential shortcuts and maybe hidden gems that can supercharge your Cursor workflow. First up, Command K. Beyond just saving keystrokes, what's the deeper insight? Does using Command K fundamentally change a developer's flow state? Does it help them stay focused on the problem instead of, say, the specific Git syntax or some terminal command?
That's precisely it. You hit the nail on the head. It's not just about raw speed. It's about minimizing context switching. Command K is your go-to for quick, inline code modifications on selected code.
Yeah.
It's fast. The UI is really fluid for that.
Okay.
But its real power, I think, lies in the terminal integration. Instead of breaking your concentration to remember some obscure Git command or maybe opening a browser to look it up.
We've all been there.
Oh, yeah. You can just type what you want, like list my 5 most recent Git branches, right there in the terminal using Command K. It generates the command for you. This keeps your brain engaged with the higher level problem you're actually trying to solve.
Yeah.
You're effectively offloading that tactical recall, that command syntax lookup, to the AI. That's the real insight and amplifies your focus.
That sounds like a massive win for just avoiding memorizing arcane commands you only use occasionally. What about Command I? What's that one for?
Command I opens the main agent chat, but crucially, with whatever code you currently have selected already in the context.
Oh, handy.
Yeah, it's incredibly useful for discussing or modifying specific parts of your code with the AI without needing to manually copy and paste chunks of code into the chat window. It just streamlines the whole conversation about your code.
Nice. And for those daily chores, even something as simple as AI-generated commit messages. Steve mentions using the magic wand icon in the source control tab. That can save that little bit of mental friction at the end of a coding session, right? It might not be perfect every single time, but it's a brilliant kickstart. Lets you quickly articulate your changes and move on.
Absolutely. It takes away that blank page problem when you're trying to summarize what you just did. It gives you a starting point to edit.
Exactly. And finally, there's this bug finder feature he mentioned. How does that one elevate your debugging process? Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, the bug finder. You access it via the command palette, usually Command-Shift-P, and then type bug finder. What it does is compare your current changes, the stuff you haven't committed yet, against your main branch. And it actively tries to identify potential bugs you might have introduced with those changes. He gives an example of it catching subtle issues like mishandling zero values in UI work, which can be really tricky to spot manually during development.
Right, those edge cases.
Exactly. It's like having an extra layer of automated QA looking over your shoulder before you even commit the code. Pretty neat.
This all brings up a really critical consideration, though, and it's one we hear a lot. Does relying so heavily on AI tools like Cursor lead to, losing your core coding skills? It's a valid concern for many developers out there.
It is, and Steve Sewell offers a really insightful perspective on this. He argues that we should define coding skills not just as typing syntax, but as the ability to build good products well with code.
Okay, a broader definition.
Yeah. In that context, AI automates the basic stuff, the repetitive tasks, the often less stimulating work. This frees up developers to focus on the harder problems, the complex logic, the architectural decisions, the truly innovative parts that require human ingenuity and deep thinking.
So it's not about replacing you, it's more about augmenting you, letting you operate at a higher level.
That's the idea.
But there are limits, right? You can't just, as he put it, vibe code an entire product and expect it to magically work perfectly.
Exactly. Steve emphasizes that's unrealistic. And importantly, these AI tools have also kind of plateaued in some areas, as he puts it,
Reading.
meaning that manual fixing, manual implementation for tricky parts, and especially debugging skills, understanding why something broke, those remain absolutely essential. If you don't know how to debug or understand the underlying systems, you'll still get stuck, even with the most advanced AI assistant. The AI can only help you so much if you don't have the fundamentals.
So AI isn't a crutch that lets you forget the basics. It's more like an amplifier for the knowledge you already have.
Precisely. That's a great way to put it. AI helps a senior developer the most because it amplifies their existing knowledge and experience. The best developers, he suggests, will learn as many skills as possible, the fundamentals, the architecture, the debugging, and then strategically leverage AI on top of that.
Right.
It's about knowing your craft inside out and then using the most effective tools available, AI included, to accelerate your impact and build better things.
And ultimately, I guess from a business perspective, it comes down to productivity over, say, meticulously hand coding every single line yourself.
Yeah, this prompts the question of what companies truly value, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Do you want a developer who painstakingly hand codes everything, even the boilerplate? Or one who uses every tool at their disposal, including AI, to be significantly more efficient? Steve argues, and I think it makes sense, that companies prefer developers who use AI tools well, because it allows for a better balance, maybe vibe coding on some UI parts, getting things moving quickly, but then having more dedicated time and mental energy for the truly hard manual problem solving where human insight is critical.
Mm.
Ultimately, it's about delivering more value, better products faster, getting more done
Oh, yeah.
smartly.
So to sort of recap this whirlwind tour, Cursor is clearly far more than just intelligent autocomplete, much more.
Well,
We've seen how its agent features, its workflow capabilities can fundamentally change how you approach software development, from automated test-driven development and systematic bug fixing based on logs,
right, to visual editing with Fusion, advanced log analysis for debugging.
all the way to just cleaning up your code before a PR.
Yeah, it covers a lot of the development lifecycle.
It's really about strategically integrating these tools into your workflow, isn't it? Building that familiarity, exploring what they can do beyond the basics.
Absolutely. It's about delivering a better product more efficiently at the end of the day. Don't just use it for simple code completion. Really explore its full potential and see how it can transform your day-to-day work.
And as you think about incorporating these powerful AI tools into your own work, here's maybe a provocative thought to leave you with. If AI can handle so much of the how, the repetitive tactical coding, the boilerplate, the initial drafts, what new frontiers of what become possible for you to truly create and innovate, what harder problems can you now tackle?